Welcome to my Compound Life. I'm your host, Jonathan. This is a channel where we build assets, we build habits, and of course, we build freedom. That should really be financial freedom, time freedom for you, me, and anyone else that watches my channel. So if you're a new subscriber, hit the like, hit subscribe. Even if you haven't even seen my content yet, right? Just help me out. I'm a small content creator, and all I want to do is to spread the news about investing, buy more assets, build great habits, and then achieving financial freedom, time freedom for everyone else. So if you are into that kind of similar concept, just hit the like and hit subscribe, and that will enable more people to find my content too. So help me out. Okay, so we are in a car environment. Very likely it's always about Bitcoin. Yes, you're right. I'm gonna talk about Bitcoin. I've got friends that are recently asking me. I've got you know what, just a slight sentiment shift from Bitcoin from yesterday, bringing us back up to about $96,000 or $96,600. Immediately I've got friends that ask me, hey John, is it time to buy more Bitcoin now? Have we officially flipped? Yada yada yada. And of course I kind of go into the explanation. The symmetric triangle, it's broken, we need to wait, 3 candles, yada yada yada, and the sentiment shift. Trump, Jerome Powell, no, and possibly no rate cut, yada yada yada. So after a long speech, I mean, all he cared was, so is it time to buy, right? And it just came to my attention that perhaps many of you guys, I'm talking even you, right? I'm talking even you. You specifically, right? Perhaps many of you guys, all you care about is it time to enter or is it time to exit, right? So this is why I kind of felt, you know what, rather than me constantly reminding all of you guys to liquidate your least performing asset and start to position your cash and be ready to buy in later in the bear market, and rather than me chatting about this, maybe I should just encourage all of you guys to constantly be DCA in, just pound cost average, because as long as you buy Bitcoin for the long term, right? As long as you hold Bitcoin for the long term, it doesn't matter if Bitcoin price is at 95,000 right now, because it will in the long term goes up. And all you need to be concerned with is how much Bitcoin can you get in a very, very short period of time, right? Because that's the reality that all of us are facing, right? You are not the only one that's buying Bitcoin anymore, right? You have got smart money, you've got wealthy investors, sovereign wealth fund, nations. Everyone are out there trying to compete with you to buy more Bitcoin. And of course, they do a lot of manipulation too, right? They manipulate the narratives, manipulate the news. They'll manipulate to try to scare you off from, and get you to sell more of your Bitcoin, right? So that's something to be careful of too, and not to be a weak hand. So that's why I always, in my channel, encourage that you need to have a hodl bag that you never ever touches, right? Unless quantum computers comes in, and then we simply need to change wallet, right? So unless until quantum computer comes in, I think that could be the possible threats for Bitcoin. You just buy Bitcoin and put that into your HODL bag forever for a much more longer period of time, and see the growth through compounding, right? And so this is why I kind of felt, seriously guys, I don't think many of us, perhaps there could be a very few wealthy viewers out there, right? I'm just purely talking about myself. At least I cannot go out and immediately buy one Bitcoin immediately, right? So I need to go through the process of stacking, Bitcoin accumulation process, right? And knowing that many of you will probably have the ambition of getting into, getting a one full Bitcoin. So that's why you constantly stack, right? So if that's the case, well done, good for all of you. And bear in mind, this will be a long process. And if that's the case, don't look at the Bitcoin price anymore, right? Just keep on DCA. Because not as if, you accumulate a good few months, you can immediately get into that one Bitcoin, right? However, getting into the habit of pound cost average or dollar cost average will probably get you to one Bitcoin quicker, because you will never forget to add more into Bitcoin, right? So imagine for you to start stacking cash for a good few months, and then afterwards, family holiday. I've got this to pay off, I've got that to pay off. Let's not stack yet. Let's not stack more, right? So I think maybe for many of us, many of you guys that have the ambition of trying to get to 0.1 Bitcoin, 0.25 Bitcoin, or half a Bitcoin, or even one day one Bitcoin, right? The best thing you start is to buy on a daily basis. Buy whenever you have got some cash, so that you get into the habit of stacking, so that you'll be more competitive, right? So have the ambition of getting into one Bitcoin. I think that's good. So Bitcoin now, how much does that cost? Like $95,000, which is what in pound is maybe like 70,000 pound. Have that ambition and start stacking on a daily basis, right? Because it's not going to make a huge difference if you wait until the bottom, because it will take time for you to stack anyway, right? And essentially that means you just get into the process earlier with your stacking, of course. So yeah, don't delay. And oh man, this car, damn it. I hate this car. Put this light on. Apology guys. Just need to find a car park, and there's a huge vehicle at the back blocking. So I think I'll just drive straight in to the parking slot behind me. Okay, so there I am. Yeah, so I think that's it for my video. I think, rather than me telling some of you, likely you might not have the discipline to 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 look at charts, look at the macro, look at the news, right? The best thing for you to do is to buy Bitcoin. Buy it now. DCA, pound cost averaging in, right? And there's no better time to start than now, right? If you're longer term holder, you're gonna be here for the long game. It doesn't matter if you're buying Bitcoin at 95,000 or 125,000 or $250,000, right? It simply just makes sense for you to buy now and start your stacking journey, so that one day you become much more competitive, right? I did some calculation before, right? Even with 0.4 Bitcoin, 0.35 Bitcoin, or half a Bitcoin, that would be generational wealth for many. So yeah, bear that in mind. I think that's it what I want to talk about. So yeah, time for gym, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.